evening and welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT and tonight we are live on iRacing for Pagnian Imports Ferrari 488 Championship. Tonight is round 4, so seeing us at Red Bull Ring GP. It's going to be fun seeing the guys in the Ferraris around Red Bull Ring. And for the session tonight, the guys have got 10 minutes of practice. Weather conditions are overcast. There's 10 minutes of qualifying. The race is 40 minutes, and we've capped the cars at 47% fuel, meaning they'll need to take fuel to finish the race. Our standings after round 3, we have Cameron Veacock with a narrow lead for the championship with 333 points, so we could potentially see some movements on those standings after tonight. It is very tight throughout. For round 3, we saw ourselves at Fuji International Speedway GP, where Daniel Gomes went on to take the win after qualifying 6th, and then we had Cameron Veacock who set the fastest lap bonus points and also end up starting with pole position. We'll jump over and check out the track. So at Red Bull Ring in Austria, so track length is 4.28 kilometers, and it is a very fast, very technical track, and it's going to be a lot of fun out there tonight. So hopefully all the best of luck to our drivers. If you're joining us for the stream, jump in the chat, say hello. If you're new to Apex Esports League channel, hit the follow button so you can be notified when we go live. So we're here on iRacing on Monday nights. And Project Cars 2 on Thursday night, so plenty of racing action to be seen during the week. And hey, Weaven, so jump on the screen on the Halloween duties tonight. Yeah, happy Halloween to everyone. A few drivers in the lobby beforehand saying that they've been bombarded with door knockers during the trick-or-treating. Aramundi, thanks for joining us. And as we've just done, there is a bunch of sound effects controls down underneath the stream that you can play over. So do have some fun, throw some support. You can do some applauses for our drivers and some other fun sound effects as the race unfolds. A little bit of a slip going on. So already getting some quick laps in, 29s and 30s being set. Hey Mark, thanks for jumping on. Unfortunately, you can't make it tonight, as is for Banks as well. So it looks like we're missing a few, only 17 drivers loaded in at the moment. It's a little bit quieter. Making our way through, so we just... Hey, Cameron Veacock, our championship leader. Falling back a little bit in points last with a disconnect and then having to rejoin later. Hopefully no technical dramas for him. We've got Blake Urquhart, who was sitting pretty close behind Veacock initially. And he had to miss last week's round, so it's allowed some movement in those standings. It's John Marinis that's now chasing very closely. And Cochrane being in third and also unable to make it tonight. It's going to allow some movement. We're seeing some very consistent times. I know the guys in the practice session before tonight's round opening up, some very close times. So Russell Ganders set a 1:30 near flat. So he's only about a 10th different off Veacock's time. So we've got 12 drivers that have got a time on the board in the practice already, and there's only just on 4 seconds difference. do love this track, Weaven. It's one of my favourite tracks. And myself turning heaps of laps on there over the weekend just gone in the supercar. It's great for any class of car. It is unfortunate you can't make it tonight for some great racing. I'm sure it'll be some good tight stuff going on tonight. A few drivers in the pits, and there we go. They've just been booted over into the qualifying session, so now they've got 10 minutes to go. And we get some fantastic camera angles on this track. Gonna get some fantastic trackside action. Vcock scrambles out on the track super quick. First one to get out there. Running off track and taking out some cones. Got Damien Cross. Trying to cover all our drivers. No one's decided to go for a spooky themed livery tonight. And Steph Fickley. Nathan Peters. And we had quite a hectic incident for those that don't follow our Facebook page. So you can see our link down at the bottom of the stream. There's probably even a link onto our Twitch page somewhere that you can follow to. You can keep up to date with all our results standings and incident reports. So there's a lot of stuff that we don't catch live. We had quite the pile up at the back of the field through one of the last few corners last week at Fuji. We did happen to miss it all. We did just cover Philip Buckland, Jason Schooler and John Gallen. Drivers will be now on their first time laps, just crossing that control line. Got Shane Patterson. Go-kart. Dan Bartish. And Ryan Ducati McCarthy. And a very fitting car for the track up in the Red Bull livery. We have Daniel Winrow. To catch a drive, and we'll go for an onboard lap. Yeah, we look like we have Marinas. It's on board. Ferrari 488 with John Marinas. He's just set at 129.6 for his first time lap. So, turn one. It's rather steep incline right at that apex. To get the optimal line, you have to stay as far out on that curb, but staying out too wide for too long will actually count as an off track. And target that track line, and similar here, but start to bring the car in just at that last white sector. And then right out onto that sausage curb, bring the car back across towards the inside, and then start to veer off and down to the left. Out onto that exit curb, use it to help turn the car in under the braking. And a very tricky corner, very long right-hander. As is this very long sweeping left. Careful on that throttle as there is a bit of a crest. Then you have almost an off track before that late turn in straight up over the curb. Essentially getting nearly all four wheels off the track limits. Ride that curb all the way. Third up into fourth just before shifting down again. No, he keeps it into it. It's going to be a very tidy lap here. So he's got pole. Was slightly slower that lap. Still a very good time. And that last time he set was a 1:30.026. Similar qualifying time for that. His third position. That's by Robbie Bradbury. He's parked the car up. Driver loading in, we have Tyson Hammer just joining the session a little bit later. That's right, he's got 4 minutes to be able to get in a qualifying lap. 11 drivers have got a time on the board. And maybe a little bit of crowding and traffic trying to get that lap in. So they all rushed out pretty quickly. Championship points on the line for qualifying position. It's not a pretty good strategy to try and sit out and not qualify for a race. And Tyson's joined in. Debut drivers tonight. Oh, and here, bit of carnage going around turn one from the sounds of it. Oh, it's still going on. I think that was Marinus mixed up in that. Oh, maybe Gander. Gander and Pickley that was caught up. Marinus still doing well. 1:29.628 was his last time. Improving on that 1:29.672. Just keeping very consistent times. Bring the car back into pit lane. Beacock currently qualifying in third position. Does he improve it as he crosses the line? He does. He takes pole position for 9.619. Only got 100 separating positions here. All the way through to position 14. Actually, we have times up into position 15. Corey Brand is sitting 1:33.5. Looks like they're entangled between two of the KFC cars. Qualifying in fourth position. Bradbury's been bumped down some spots. It's not going to be time to be able to get out and get another time to lap in. We have Bradbury and Gander currently out of the car. Oh, Patterson appeared to be blinking then. Yeah, he must have just been bringing the car back into pit lane. Be able to afford any off tracks with joining the session late. I believe he's the only driver left to get a time on the board. Yeah, look at that. See, Corey Brand qualifying position 17, 3.9 is the gap from pole. It is incredibly tight. It's great to see all drivers very similarly paced. Bradbury gets back out on track. It's not going to be far enough along to be able to get that timed lap in. So he may even just be practicing a pit entry. It is a very interesting position for that pit entry. At least pit exit. Cars are well over to the left-hand side of the track. That pit entry is going to come out across the racing line. So there's the qualifying session finished. So see if we can catch our eye on that pit entry and see it veering off into there. It's actually crossing red and whites just to be able to get in there. He's had some dramas there. That's bad timing to have caught that for him. Full workout stolen pole. That's going to leave final lap for that time to be beaten. Peacock did it. He's going to be coming up to the finish now. Oh, that's rather wide. I think there's maybe an off track. All four wheels off. Marinas has parked the car up. Yeah, that validated that time. Can we see? James is taking it pretty easy. I don't think he's impressed with that time. And we'll take a look at the results now for all the drivers. Click that over and start the session. So for round 4, we have Blake Urquhart taking pole position at Red Bull Ring GP. Then the grid is then Cameron Veacock, John Marinas, Daniel Gomes, Robbie Bradbury, Jason Schooler, Tyson Hammer, Damien Cross, Ryan Ducati McCarthy, Dan Bartosh, Russell Gander, John Gallen, Philip Buckland, Daniel Winrow, Nathan Peters, Stephanie Pickley, Shane Patterson and Corey Brandt. And we did see Tyson improve his position up into 7th, so managing to do well. And then the session changing over now. Drivers given just under a couple of minutes to grid the car. Otherwise they'll be seeing themselves start from that pit lane. Blake eager to grid up pretty quick. Uses a bit longer to grid the car. Our best angle is for the start. This might be best shot to see movement. Get some very different angles. Jump between. Giving a good rev up. It's waiting on John Gallen and Cameron Veacock to grid up. Bradbury's forgotten something, he's just jumped back out. Games unreadying as well. Drivers don't have fixed setups. So if they are using qualifying setups, they do have to remember to change all that over beforehand. Anyway, just waiting on John Gallen to ready now. Could potentially miss this here. He may have suffered a disconnect. It's quite interesting. About to go green.
Green flag, green flag.
Oh, there's been some rubbing going on the grid. Two cars tangled up. I think it's Dan Winrow and Patterson. Not sure what's going on if his car is stuck. Yeah, Gallen's missed the start. Patterson got that car moving again. Not sure if he was having some issues with gears, trying to get the car out on track. Leacock's made it a good getaway. Marinas is holding on to that gap. Go rather wide. Oakhart's trying to chase down Hammer. Hammer's done pretty well over the first lap. He's made a few positions up. Flash of the lights from Cam. Not sure what he's indicating there. Oh, there's been a spin. That's Hammer and Urquhart. Not sure if they've touched there. Urquhart eager to try and make his way back up. There's been another crunch. Not sure if that's touch between Winrow and Schooler. Hey Sami, thanks for joining us. Marinas holding that gap. Just under half a second. He's closing it in now. Front two have a fair gap now that Hammer and Urquhart drop back in the spin. I couldn't detect any contact between the two of them. See the track limits being pushed a fair bit from a lot of drivers. A lot of single off tracks coming through. Drivers will have to be cautious with that. Once they reach 17 incident points, they will have to serve a drive-through penalty. Dan's just having to tow the car. May have been tangled with Buckland as well. Seeing Dane Cross being in and having to take a fast repair. John Gallen having missed the grid. Started in pit lane, sitting in 13th. School's got Winrow coming up behind. He's going to have to be cautious here for the big spin. Been a fair few slides by the looks of things. Next driver ahead for him is 5 seconds away. That's Steph Fickley. Which has a lap car coming up. That's Shane Patterson. You seem to have got tangled up at the grid. Nathan Peters having much better luck after being shunted through turn 1 last week. Burkhardt and Bradbury side by side. Nice little crossover for Urquhart. Will that be enough to be able to get enough pace and get this pass? Nicely done. Tucks right in. Bradbury sitting right on his tail though. Emma also trying to recover some positions. Consistently up in 131s. Race lead, very similar times to previous times. 1:30.087 from Vcock and 0:43 for Marinus. There's going to be a fair bit of aero wash for Marinus if he is going to try and shoot out and make a pass. He's going to have to be aware that he's going to be carrying that excess speed to try not to dive through the corner. Back out on track after the tow. Patterson for a lengthy stop. Doesn't look like a tow. He's not having a whole lot of luck. Looks like another tow for Winrow. Oh, sorry, a tow. These two not letting up. Pressure being constantly held by Marinus. He's been keeping that gap. It's only a couple attempts. Flying ahead at the moment. It's going to be a good opportunity to really pull away. Stanley Games well with out of that reach to be able to get any slipstream. McCarthy close enough to be able to start utilising that to close that gap in. And Games not make any mistakes here. It's a frustrating start for you. So he's still parked up, or is it towing at the moment? See got Patterson in the chat. Marinus has not let up one bit. Neither making errors to give any distance to each other. It's a pretty good pace from Marinus through turn 1. Gains a 10th just through that corner. Goes for a very wide line, try and get that speed through this corner. Will that cost him? Does initially, but he gets the run. No, that's no good. sad to see it. Just to sit out and watch it. Steph's got Gallen starting to close in now. That curb's going to really shave off some speed. It'll open opportunity for Gallen to sneak through now. Should just be able to line up and commit to that, no dramas. He should have enough run down this. Fair bit of spacing down between most of the cars now. Buckland's got Brand at 7 seconds away. Quickly still holding on. She's not going to let Gallen pull away too quickly. Managed to close in a little bit on McCarthy. Beckart's still trying to make his way through. Miss Army, Steph's doing a fantastic job out there. Beckart's dropped again. Marinas down to 2 temps now. It's not going to be enough to try and attempt a pass for turn 1. It's going to be rather risky. That's way too fast of a corner. Only time opportunity is going to come up if an error is made. He's dropped back a fair bit after that corner. He'd been getting the run of him for most of it. Gearbox camera of Vcock's car, looking back at John Marinas. This battle's been going on for 8 laps. There's 26.5 minutes to go. Currently on lap 9. Marinas has made up that time again. He's about 3 tenths off Vcock that previous lap. He's managed to close the gap again. Does get rather exhausting just trying to hold on with that much pressure. A little bit of a slip from Vcock. He could very well be in the same position. It's not easy going when you're being put with that much pressure, that many laps. If these two are going to be that consistent to each other, it's going to come down to either an error or the pit stop. And they're definitely at that pit window. So if they do start to see their times drop, it may pay off to actually bring the car and grab that fuel now. Recoup and then get back out there. Hammers move through McCarthy now. So they're both up towards, Hammer and Urquhart up towards that front end early on until they had the spin. Didn't look like they touched each other. Drivers coming in to take that fuel yet. We've only had drivers who've had to deal with any damage. As I'm saying that, there's Nathan Peters taking fuel on now. So it's 11.7 seconds stop. Schooler also doing the same thing. Be seeing between 10 to 12 seconds to take on that fuel. Marinas costing some time last week with the pit stop. Chatting in the podium interview, mentioning he had to try and figure out what went on for himself. So I think it cost him nearly an extra 10 seconds. Kids, look at that, he's right on the tail. Gets the pass. Veacock looks to go for a switch back. Just moves over. Blocking that line. Veacock moves for the outside. Marissa is still going to have that track position at this point. Veacock's going to try and aim for another inside line exit. Moves to cover it, but in doing so he's cost a bit of pace. So he's having to play a little bit more defensive instead of being able to try and keep that momentum at this point. Beautiful racecraft in between these two. That's so wide. Carrying so much speed down for those last corners. Silo, thanks for jumping on. Leading for the last lap. After taking the lead from after 11 laps, led by Veacock. These two have only had a few tenths gap for the entirety of the race so far. A little bit of rear slip from Veacock. That could be enough of a break for Marinas to be able to move ahead, not have to play as defensive. Oh, a little bit of off track. Veacock taking some dirt. Approaching the halfway point. McCarthy's back in P4. Hammer's been in and taken his fuel. Urquhart's also been in for a fuel stop. maybe side by side. John Gallant didn't fight him too much for it. Gallant will need to come in and take fuel as well. Yeah, that gap's being pushed out now by Marinus. 6/10 now separating them. This is about as far back that Marinus got from the tail of Veacock. Another bit of off track for Veacock. He lofted another 10th. A little bit of wobble in the car under the brakes as well. Maybe struggling for the car at the moment. Not sure if it may just be getting light on fuel, or if the tyres aren't up to scratch. It's going to be a big opportunity for Marinus just to be able to knuckle in and try and push that gap out. So that he has enough leeway to be able to get into the pits. He's not going to be able to afford to lose any time whatsoever through the pit stops. And he's furthered that gap even more. Gap's closed in. Position 12. Buckland and Peters. Buckland makes an easy pass around Peters. Carthy's just been in to take that fuel. Game's also taking fuel. Now the quickest pit so far, a 10.2 second stop. McCarthy is 11.8, Urquhart 12.4 seconds. This means as he approaches McCarthy, they're racing for position. See Urquhart just behind. There's about 4.2 second gap between the two. This hasn't been able to completely lose Veacock, but he is slowly dropping back now. And there's some lap traffic coming up. So we're on approach to Peters and Buckland. So that's P12 and P11 that they're approaching. This could definitely close that gap in. An open opportunity for Veacock. Oh, this is going to be perfect time for him to get around. Look at that. This one car out of the way for both of them without either losing any pace. Oh, Veacock caught up. Nicely timed for Marinus. So held Veacock up by about another 10th. Now Bradbury closing in on the tail of Gander. Neither of them have been in the take fuel yet. Still getting lots of single incident off tracks from drivers. Looks like a couple. Urquhart just then as well. There's still the tail of Buckland. It's a blue flag shown. We should be able to get a good run here. It's going to be similar spacing as well. This is going to come to his advantage again. Veacock almost contemplating going for that inside line to get around. He doesn't want to get caught up with any back markers. That was almost perfectly placed again in the same spot. Two back markers favourably placed for Marinis. He's pushed the gap out to 1.2 now. Push out a little bit further. Could potentially, I think he may be contemplating coming into the pits. Is he? No, he took a very different line. He's been taking that much wider. Drivers doing pit. We're just past the halfway point. So we'll take a look at current standings. So not showing as retired, but Shane Patterson has retired out. He's just parked the car up, so he's in position 18. Got caught up in a few incidents at the start of the race, unfortunately. And Corey Brand, I think, has done the same thing. And then in 16th, Dan Bartish. Also having dramas early on. Minro also was the case, I believe. He had a 47.2 second stop. Not sure if that may have been a stop and hold and then use of a fast repair. It's a very interesting stop time. I don't know if he's been in to take on fuel. He's currently P15. Steph Fickley in position 14. She's been in taking her fuel. So just waiting on, I think, our front four. And John Gallen. Actually, Phil Buckland and Damon Crosso do believe need to pit as well. And Peters, P13. Scorers in 12th. Phil Buckland, position 11. Cross in P10. Looks like is pitting. Oh, we've got our race leaders pitting in. Look at they're racing in pit lane still. 11.4 seconds stop for Veacock. 11.9 for Marinis. He still comes out in the lead. So half a second slower than Veacock, but enters the race with a 1.3 second gap still. So now they're back at it for the remaining 12 minutes of the race. Big making away free. So P11 was Buckland, Damon Cross P10, John Gallen P9. You get to take fuel. He started from pit lane as well after missing the grid. P8 we have Bradbury. Urquhart, position 7. Cody McCarthy in position at 6. Hanma, P5. Oh, has this been a hit behind? Not sure who that was. Must have been one car. It's none of the ones that were racing for position in that small gap. So the car's closing in on McCarthy pretty quickly. Games, position 4. Gander's in P3. He hasn't taken fuel yet. 7 seconds between himself and Gomes. So he's probably going to drop back around position 8. By the time he takes fuel, I am assuming. P2 is Vcock. Now, lap 19, Vcock led for the first 11 laps. And then our current race leader commencing his lead of 8 laps after passing Vcock. That was after sitting right on his tail, barely moving on that gap for a full 11 laps. And there's still a very close gap between these two. They're going through quite a workout tonight. And it's definitely got that pit stop down pat tonight. Gallen's been in taking fuel. Cross also fueling up. Very quick stop, 9.8. He did come in and take on a fast repair earlier on in the race, so he probably would have took a splash of fuel at that point as well. Again, fueling up now. He's now currently re-entering the race in about position 8. Fantastic race this has been. Very unfortunate at the start. A few cars getting caught up around those opening laps. Brand parked up, so he's probably spotting for his mates now. Marinas now trying to break that slipstream. It's Vcock moving in very quickly. If Marinas can't keep this gap, he's going to have to start playing defensive. He had to do it for a couple of laps after first making the move and getting past Vcock. And then after that, he started to really put some ground. The blimp in the chase between Marinas and Vcock. You can just see just how long those corners are. And missing the apexes on those costs you a huge amount of speed as you come down into this final sector. Approach to P11 lap at the moment. As our race leaders are still chasing each other down. We have Gallen closing in on Cross. Consistent lap times throughout most of the field. Our first 7 all setting in the 130s on that previous lap. Marinas and Vcock both 0.2. Position 3 and 4 with Gomes and Hammery 30.7s. Bradbury in for 30.7. Carding McCarthy at 0.69, 6.99, so essentially 7. And then Urquhart 30.5. As you can see, just one of those gaps, not really moving between them all. They are very consistent amongst each other. It's under 5 minutes to go. A little bit too much inside curve for Marinas. It's going to cost him a heap of speed for these next couple. You have to make sure he doesn't leave a door open for Veacock now. And Veacock's going to have to make sure he tries to probe around. So there's not too many laps left in it. He's not going to have too many opportunities to take the race lead back. Just how the corners are at Red Bull, especially when you're driving this consistent. Not too many opportunities to actually try and get a pass through the corner. It's more about that corner exit. Yeah, Gallen just dropping back. It looks like he's just done 72nd pit stop. He'd been in and taken the fuel. So he may have had too many incident points. And had to serve stop and hold. It's usually a drive-through, so not sure. Oh, Marinas got some pressure on now. Veacock right on the tail. And he goes for a move, but it's a dangerous corner to try and make a move. These drivers are. Veacock gets the pass. Marinas not clear of just yet, gets him. It's perfectly timed for the pass. Marinas is straight back at Veacock. If he wants that lead back and go for the win, he's going to try and get him very soon. There's only 2 laps left to the race. Lap 24 should see us finish out 26 laps. Oh, Marinas right on that tail. Covering that line. Looks like he's got damage to the rear. Lights out. Oh, he's going to go for a turn 1 pass. I think Veacock is going to back out of that. Go for the switchback. He had a lot of aero wash. Buckland and Winrow just come together. I think that's around the pit entrance. Winrow's towing right at the pit entrance. Jason Schooler just behind race leaders. Heard a crunch as they went past. Not sure if Schooler may have actually just moved aside a bit too much. Buckland using his fast repair at the moment after getting caught up with Winrow. Yeah, he's towing a fair few cars. Letting casualties to Red Bull Ring. .25 seconds left, so it's going to see one more lap. Only a second away from the control line, so we won't see white flag until the counter reaches 0, but this is final lap. So lap 26. Marinis wants that win. He's going to have to take it now. The two equally have led for 13 laps each. They have been exchanging positions over these last few laps. Otherwise, essentially sitting on each other's tail the entirety of 26 laps. There is white flag now shown. These two not being able to let us peel our eyes away for too long. The gap has been incredibly close, or both getting a bit loose. Slick from Vecox, then seeing Marinis go and take some dirt. Coming down onto the final approaches. An opportunity to take the checkered flag from Vecock now. So our race winner for round 4 is Cameron Vecock. Congratulations. He had to work for it. Vecock flyby and smash the car into the wall. They're having some fun with that car. What an impeccable crash. Fantastic racing by those two. Congratulations. Position 2 to Marinis. Games on the podium, P3. Ham across his line, P4. Okay, flashing the lights, happy to take P5. Carthy, 6. Bradbury not far behind, P7, quiet and quiet, across the line yet, Eddie? No, he did before. Just tapping the side. Gander takes the car home in 8th. No problem, Sami. Much appreciated. We're in for some fantastic racing to be watched tonight. And some unfortunate stuff for other drivers as well. A bit of attrition at the Red Bull ring. Cross takes P9. Schooler coming up for P10. Actually even crossed the line potentially. Yeah, I think he has actually finished the race. Then we have a few drivers having to park the car up after incidents, unfortunate. Feel sorry for our drivers caught up in that, and then we'll take a look at our results now. Sure, there's plenty of burnouts going on somewhere. Panels just being a little bit slow, and there we are. They are now back up. So 27 laps at the Red Bull ring, then sees Cameron Vecock being our race winner, and then on the podium, only just under half a second away in the end, John Marinis P2, and then Daniel Gomes in P3, and the rest of our standings then Tyson Hammer, Blake Urquhart, Ryan Ducati, McCarthy, Robbie Bradbury, Russell Gander, Damien Cross, Jason Schooler, and Nathan Peters, Stephanie Pickley, Philip Buckland, Dan Bartish, John Gallen, Daniel Winrow, Corey Brand, and Shane Patterson. So a fair bit of lap traffic going on towards that back end as well. And we'll see if our drivers have jumped on over. Congratulations, guys. What a run from you two. There was no giving any room for each other.
That was definitely a good battle with John there.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah, just coming on to that last lap, you both led for 13 laps a pop. And then the last few laps, swapping positions. And then, even the pit stops, similar, racing and coming out at that point, only half a second away, and Richards will be needing a good cold shower after that.
I am dripping.
Yeah, there wasn't a single. I couldn't take a single breather through that entire 40 minutes.
No.
I feel like I'm just finally catching my breath.
Yeah, no opportunity opportunity at all to have a break. Not even for the pit stop when you both stopped for only, what, 11.5 seconds essentially. So maybe a quick mouthful of water.
I didn't even get one of them.
No, I was up. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I just came in and I couldn't actually see my pit box because where John's car was, I didn't know where the box was.
He's right next to each other too.
Yeah, he was right in front of me. So, no, you had a lot of pace, mate. And
Oh.
I didn't know what was happening because I was watching you drive away in the middle of the race, and your last section of that track is epic.
I think I had a little bit more downforce. That's maybe the reason why. Because I felt like on the straights you were quite powerful. The draft wasn't that strong for me.
I was running a 4-wing, so
Fair bit of
but
downforce.
the car was absolutely tailing coming under brakes. So I pushed a couple of times there. I thought the car was going to come and the rear was going to meet me because it just squirreled the whole
you could
way.
see the car shimmering in the front as you're coming down into that sweeping right down around the hill.
Yeah, definitely right. And John's car looked
Lucky you
absolutely
were on the
planted.
curb, just because it was enough just to try and keep the car stable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But I want to say thanks to John. That was a fantastic battle.
Yeah, thank you for you. Thank you to you too. I think I can draw the Apex logo looking at the RCR car for so just from visual memory now. It burnt into my retinas.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
No, that was very respectful. It was very I as much as I don't want to do that again next week, I gladly will.
Oh, look, those are the races are what make it. They make it fun.
Definitely.
You're battling the whole time, and I don't think, as I said, you or I had a break for that entire 40 minutes. We were just sweating.
And then across the
I
line,
know I am.
what, 4 attempts difference?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, nothing in it.
So a bit unfortunate for the other guys that happened on the start. And I don't know what happened there. I heard us talking to Steph, and apparently there was a bit of a mix up on the start, and car forgot to shift, or
Yeah,
I don't
a couple of
know, and
cars
then-
got tangled at the back.
all I heard was people left, right, and centre.
A couple of little tangles, unfortunately. Yeah, you did fantastic. It was great watching you guys. I had it for that long. It was hard to try and peel away just because that gap was there the whole time, just waiting for a move. And then when you finally got
Well, I was
there.
trying to. Did your tyres start to go off towards the end?
I guess so. I started to lose 3
'Cause you're-
tenths.
Yeah, you're
Towards
at
the end.
about a second 1.1 for me for ages,
Yeah.
and then they just
Yeah.
started clawing and clawing and clawing and clawing.
Yeah, I think maybe I started to hit a cliff.
Yeah, I don't know, but no, I didn't know whether I was going to get that move around the outside of you into the hairpin. That was terrifying.
Terrifying, but it was good, and I'm glad we both left each other the just enough room to get through. It was pretty.
It was a game move, and I saw you line
Crazy.
up for it, and I was like, "We're too far along to back out now." It's
Well,
happening.
I went for a couple of switchbacks. I thought I might be able to get under the inside of him here.
It wasn't
And,
enough, just enough to get side by side. It was,
That's right. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
But I think that's that's how I got him on the turn 1. I think the switchback was the final thing that made.
Yes. Yeah. Right. I was holding the inside there.
Yeah, I managed to just force you a little bit a little bit too deep, and managed to sneak on the inside of you to the hairpin. But no, it was absolutely epic. I'm very happy to do that again. I don't care what positions you come at the end of the day. That was.
I'm gonna say, yeah, if you're both doing that at the back, that's, it doesn't matter. That's where the fun is, when you can have
Exactly right.
awesome, clean fight like that from start to finish.
Well, let's get ready for Imola next week.
Yeah, and if you can do it all at Imola too, that's gonna be fantastic.
Oh, I'm not going to like him because of those curbs.
Yeah,
The big sausages in the middle of the chicanes.
yeah, it really throws the car, and if you mess that up, it a lot of damage.
Exactly right. You're going to have a lot of hard times, so we'll have to see how we go.
Yeah, good luck with it next week. I look forward to seeing another battle.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not sure where Daniel is. He usually jumps in, but he had a great drive as well.
Yeah, he hasn't
So when I
jumped
was
in
watching
yet.
my pit times, I was looking at going. I was watching it going. Oh, this is interesting because my pit out position marker was saying I was going to come out just in front of him. So I had to stay out a little bit longer than I would have liked just to try and gain that little bit extra gap.
Ah,
So I could see roughly where I was going to come out of traffic. But then I thought John might have picked me in the pit lane because of the sitting behind me, saving a lot of fuel.
Yeah,
I think
extra
I did
half
make a little bit of
second.
time there.
Yeah,
Lost it in the end.
Yeah, it had an extra half a second for you, John, in the pits, but at least much better than last week's. Only extra
Definitely,
10
yeah.
seconds, so you got that fixed.
Spent a lot of time figuring that out.
Yeah, glad you got it sorted, so it managed to be able to keep you still within range for that fight for the next bit of the race.
Yeah, that's definitely it. That was a lot of fun. On to Imola.
Congrats, guys, and good luck next week.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye-bye.
There you have our race winner, Cameron Veacock, and podium finisher in position 2, John Marinis. I mean, didn't get Dan jumping into the chat. Then he finished up on podium in position 3, and you can see on those splits on the standings, very close in the end throughout, so well done, and unfortunate for the drivers that caught up at the start of the race as well. And then, as we were talking about, next week we see the final, so we head over to Imola to wrap up the Ferrari 488 Championship. So, fantastic way to finish up in the Ferraris, being at the Ferraris home track. So, do hit that follow button if you haven't done so already, so you can be notified when we go live. So, back again next week, Monday night at 7:35 p.m, back on track, and then also catch our Project Cars 2 racing on Thursday nights. That's at 7:45 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So that is round 4 this week in the Toyota 86s. So it'd be great if you can join us for that as well. So thanks for tuning in tonight, and hope to catch you trackside next time.